Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. All right, guys, the gun controllers have initiated another gun buying boom, this time in response to the ballot measure 114. I cannot wait to show you how this is backfiring spectacularly. I'm going to say a quick word from our sponsor, STI, who made this content possible, and then we're going to walk through the entire thing, and I know you're going to love it. Now, I know a lot of you out there like to upgrade and modify your own guns. And if you're looking to take your hobby to the next level, STI can help. Their online courses cover everything from ballistics, gunsmithing, woodworking and finishes, shooting sports management, and more. Plus, all the tools and materials are shipped directly to your door. There's never been a better time to turn a hobby into a career, so what are you waiting for? There's a link in the description box below, and thank you so much to STI for bringing this content. All right, brothers and sisters, as I mentioned in the introduction, every single time gun controllers, Democrats, leftists, liberals, whatever you want to call it, fill in the blank, every time they mention gun control, every time they pass an initiative, every time they initiate a bill, every single time they start a gun buying bonanza. And this is no different based off of Oregon Measure 114. What I'm about to show you is more guns being sold in Oregon based off of the police background check system than have been sold collectively in all 5 years. They are turning this year into the biggest gun buying spree in the past 5 in Oregon. This is including 2020, all the peaceful protest and everything else that was going on. They're blowing past that by 100,000 plus. This is something that you guys need to see and send out. Everything is linked in the description box below. Let's dive in. I'm going to walk you through a few numbers because this is crazy. So before the injunction, and then I'm going to show you the article, 245,520 guns were bought in the year 2022, the year we are currently in. That's before anything happened. The whole point was to limit the gun sales, right? You guys remember ballot measure 114? The idea was more guns equals more crime, more guns equals more pain, more guns equals problem. So therefore, we're going to put everything behind a permitting process. We're going to put everything under extremely unconstitutional measures. That'll stop all those gun purchases. You're on record pacing right now. Let's keep going. So what I'm going to show you is the Oregon Police State reporting. Oregon State Police sees spike in gun background checks with Measure 114 in midterms. This was released today, Wednesday. Oregon voters are narrowly approving an initiative that would adopt a permit to purchase gun law, with which the Secretary of State's office says is set to take effect on December 8th. Now, that's not actually correct. It's actually 30 days after certification, which would be December 15th, which makes it January 15th. 60 days. Keep that number in mind as we go through this math. 60 days from here. All right. Under Measure 114, gun buyers will be required to first acquire a permit from local law enforcement. Applicants will need to be fingerprinted, pass a background check, and undergo safety training. The initiative also instituted a ban on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds. Well, we know that. But listen to what the public response has been. They literally just took, the people who brought this initiative forward, they took gun purchases from the future and brought it to current day, completely kicking them in the can and backfiring magnificently. Check this out. So far in November, state police officials say about 63% of the FICS requests have been approved. That's the state level. That's not federal NICS. That's state level police background checks. Look at these graphs. This is the total numbers of FBI checks as of November 14th, 2022. You notice how from 2018 to 2022, the peak was 2020, 418,000, and it goes around 276 to 338,000. It stays in that range. Currently, as of November of 2022, you're at 280,552, as I previously mentioned. That's a pretty big number, but it's right in line about the average. Well, look at what just happened according to police data releases, again linked. The average going in on a daily was 849 before this measure passed. After the measure passed, 4,092. It went from 850 to 4,092 on a daily background check. If you extrapolate that out to the 60 days before this comes out, you are looking at a total of 526,072 guns when you add in the 280 already there. They literally just surpassed all previous 5-year records in gun sales in Oregon if the trajectory holds, which it doesn't look like it's showing any signs of yielding. They brought every gun purchase from the future to current. It did nothing except further the gun rights movement, except further the gun ownership in Oregon. as always happens when you introduce gun control. But I've got more graphs, because you guys know how I like graphs. Look at the police background checks queue backlog. This is going into the election, and on the very right, you see the 2022 election, and right after that, you see a massive spike. That is over 10,000 people who are backlogged in the queue system as of today. The entire point of this initiative, the entire point of all gun control is always to prevent more guns from getting into the population, because guns equal tragedy, guns equal pain. Guns are the problem. However, when the population realizes what you're doing, they always rush out and they embrace their rights before it goes into effect. That's what you're seeing here. That's why every time there's a gun control bill, more guns are sold than on record. Every time a Democrat goes into office, there's more guns sold on record. Obama, Biden, the summer of 2020. All these catalysts, people revert back to their freedoms. You're always going to have that. People will always go back to their freedoms. I just wish they wouldn't wait for an emergency catalyst to do it and be a little more active on the regular, but hey, who am I to pick and choose? At the end of the day, Measure 114 has increased by more than 100% gun purchases in Oregon before the injunction takes effect. So it's quite possible that the injunction is going to take effect sometime in January and December of this year, or December this year, January of next year, after double the guns were purchased, leaving these people who brought the ballot initiative forward in quite the pickle, since they encouraged more gun ownership than we possibly could have done on our own. And that's what I've got for you guys tonight. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.